Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today we have a Horse is a Horse weekly event for June 29th, 2020, the week of. Alright, so let's get into this weekly preview here. Alright. Just turned on the game, it's Monday, it's early Monday, like pre 8 a.m. A horse is a horse. New rare troop, Thaumatoire. I guess that's how you say it. I don't know. Guild Wars this week. Help your guild win the war. Don't forget to set your defenses and fight your daily battles. Events. Week of Centaurs. All Centaurs gain 10% to their skills. Week of Mystics. All Mystics gain 10% to their skills. And bonus glory. Use the Thaumatoire in PvP to gain 5 glory. Let's grab this tribute. Very valuable. Let's see how many gems. 13. Ooh, 19. Holy cow, that's a lot. 19 is a lot. Well, for me it is. I usually get like 13 or 14, 15, something like that. Alright, what are we going to do first? Let's go to the Soulforge. See what kind of mythics and weapons and legendaries we have in there for this week of June 29th. Let's see, straight to the mythics. That is the juicy. Megavore, not bad. Suna, the Wild Queen, and Death. Okay, decent. Decent this week. Ooh, web spinner. Alrighty, so Megavore. 24 brown, red, blue, Black Hawk, Merfolk monster. Eliminate all armor from all enemies. Deal 73 damage to an enemy. Submerge myself. It has huge, gain 2 life in 4 or 5 gym matches, impervious, immune to all status effects, devour and mana burn, and death below. 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gym matches. This is a top half mythic, probably a, it was a top 10 as recently as a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, I don't know. It used to be a pretty highly recommended mythic, and I think it's still in the top. So if you've been saving up diamonds and you already have like the top 5 mythics, and you're really dying to get one, and you already have the Wild Queen, then this wouldn't be too bad. You can use it, I mean, eliminating all armor from all enemies, that's good in like delves and higher scaled up content because their armor can get really high. So you can eliminate it's basically a ton of damage. Eliminating all armor, say their armor's at like, 200 or something crazy. That's 800 damage plus 73 damage. So 873 damage. And then the best part is this 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gym matches. If you can somehow get multiple Megavores and take them into like a delve or something, or a really high level scaled up event, there's an 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gym matches. So it doesn't go off very often, but you can use it to get past like really hard content if you can keep like retrying that content, maybe have more than one Megavore. I know it sounds crazy, but that 8% chance can happen. Or you can put a Megavore in your team and then get some sort of loop going, so you're getting 4 or 5 gym matches like over and over and over and over, so that 8% chance doesn't seem so low because you're getting so many chances at it that eventually you'll get it. Like if you do 10 loops, you should get it, and it's an instant kill. So decent troop, really top half of the mythics, probably top 15, used to be top 10. Really good. Suna. Purple, red, green, bright forest, divine fae. Steal 32 life from the 2 weakest enemies, then steal 8 magic from the 2 strongest enemies. Allied fae gain 2 life, immunity to burning, and fairy fire. Fairy fire a random enemy when matching red gems. Do I even have this one? Yes, I do. So Suna, not a top, not a top 5, not a top 10, not a top 15. It's probably in the 20s, something like that. How many mythics do we have now? Like, what do we have? Like 60 something mythics. So she could be in the 20s, the 30s. She's probably in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Steal 32 life from 2 weakest enemies, then steal 8 magic from 2 strongest enemies. So it's not terrible. And then fairy firing on random enemy when matching red gems, not terrible. It's like, this is the definition of a not terrible mythic, or not awesome. You know, it's somewhere in the middle. It's probably a little bit closer to the good side than the bad side, but just over that line. So it's a mid-tier mythic that's slightly above average. So this week I definitely would not recommend it. Let's say you don't have any of these mythics this week. It's probably not the 3rd best. So the Wild Queen, brown, green, purple, Pan's Veil, Elemental Wild Folk, steal up to 36 attack from an enemy and give it to my first ally. Create a mix of 22 skulls and green gems. Wildfolk Bond, allied wildfolk gain 2 life. Summon a Bone Storm when an ally dies. All wildfolk allies gain 2 attack at the start of every turn. Top 5 mythic right here, right around the 5 spot for me. Definitely recommended to craft. I recently, like, this was the last good mythic that I didn't have, I think. The last, top 5, 10 mythic I didn't have. I had the top 3 or 4, and this was like the one that I was like, man, I really need to get that Wild Queen. So I haven't had a ton of time with it, but I know it's really, really good, and you should craft it. It's a top 5. It's really good at PvP and Guild Wars. So green Guild Wars and PvP, or brown or purple Guild Wars, really, but goes good with like steal up to 36 attack from an enemy and give it to my first ally. Create a mix of 22 skulls and green gems. So any kind of skull spam team, or your hero with Mang or something, like, I'm sure that's not the team, but you know what I mean. Anyway, really, really good mythic. I need to get on using that. There's a couple in this Soulforge this week that I need to get on using more. But yeah, top 5. Death. 24 red, purple, blue, Apocalypse, Undead Daemon. Excuse me. Death mark all enemies, deal 46 scatter damage, boosted by my life. Dance Macabre. Necromancy, gain 50% bonus souls from battle. Undying, immune to poison, disease, and death mark. Steal 2 life from the first enemy at the start of each turn. This was one of the first mythics put in the game, so you can tell. Back when Deathmark was better, this was better. Deathmark used to be pretty meta, like 2 years ago, maybe even 3. It's like 2.5 years ago, because Deathmark would apply like as soon as it went on, it could trigger. Like now you have to wait a turn, and it also gets reapplied and whatnot. But back in the day, Deathmark used to work differently. Like as soon as it was applied, it could kill, and if you reapplied it, like it didn't restart it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Deathmark used to be way better. Like it would go up by 10% every turn, and if you reapplied it, it wouldn't reset your counter, and it could trigger as soon as it's applied. So sometimes you would get Deathmark on all enemies, and they could all die as soon as it happens. So I think they should go back to that, but because I like Deathmark. But this is terrible now, but it used to be decent way back in the day, like 2-3 years ago. Alright, so for my order of these mythics, I would say Wild Queen is 1, Megavore is 2, Suna 3, Death 4, and that is, I'm pretty sure on that one. Here we have some decent legendaries. We have the Umber Wolf, used in the best soul farming team that uses Ferris Ra. Umberwolf is Galvania, Undead Beast, 16 red, purple. Deal 38 damage to the first 2 enemies, place Hunter's Mark and Death Mark on them, and then transform into a Nosferatu. It's stealthy, it's undying, and it creates a dark storm at the start of every turn. So that's why you use it with the soul farming team, so you can have all that purple falling, so you can fill up the Dragon Soul, and your Ferris Ra and everything, and Azurus. But yeah, used in one of the most consistent soul farming teams in the game. The Dragon Soul, Ferris Ra, Azurus, Umberwolf team. One of the most consistent 30-40k an hour soul farming teams. This is one of them, so if that's your thing right now, that's your lane, you are going for souls right now to level up your kingdoms and get Dawnbringer, and that's what you're doing at this moment, this may be a sign for you to, I wouldn't recommend crafting it with 800 diamonds. I'd recommend saving up 4,000 and getting a mythic, but if that's the last thing you need for your soul farming team and you are going hard at soul farming, you know, I couldn't blame you if you actually did it, if you don't have it yet for whatever reason. But we also have Queen Titania and Web Spinner here, so a really good week for legendaries. Queen Titania, 16 red, purple, Bright Forest, Fey, Mystic. Deal 36 damage to all enemies, boosted by red enemies and allies. If there are 13 or more red gems, gain an extra turn. Allied Fey gain 2 life, immunity to burning and fairy fire. Fairy fire a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. So, Queen Titania used on the Yaogui Queen Titania team. One of the best teams in the game for PvP and Guild Wars Defends and other things. It's not like it was the best team for like a couple months there before like Gob Truffle came out. It was one of the best teams. It still is. It's still like a top 5 team, and it's one of the best teams on Nintendo Switch right now. Go check out my best team on Nintendo Switch video. It applies to everyone, but it's really good for Nintendo Switch people to get this troop and get this team, the Yaogui Queen Titania team. So go check that out. Maybe I'll show you real quick before we do anything else. But yeah, Queen Titania, if you don't have it, it's really close. Recommendation. If you have Yaogui and you have everything else like Taipan or that other converter, I'll show you in a second. But if you have everything except for Queen Titania for that team, you might want to do that once again. So Umberwolf and Queen Titania, both used in very popular, good teams, good consistent teams. The Great Maul used to be awesome and is not anymore. It's kind of like Death. The Great Maul, Drifting Sands, 24 brown, yellow, devour an enemy, create 8 yellow and 8 brown gems, 1 cast only. I actually still use this every once in a while. Gain 1 attack when taking damage, gain 2 life in 4 or 5 gem matches, gain 2 to all skills on Skull gem matches. Because let's say you don't have High King Iron Gut, sometimes you can use this instead on really high level scalable content. He gets an automatic devour, but then he can't do anything else. But you put him in first slot, you devour something with a ton of stats, and then you have a really huge tank in your first slot. So it works really good for people that don't have a ton of mythics, but they happen to have this legendary, and they're at a certain point in the game, you know, maybe level 900, 800, something like that, level 1000, somewhere around there, 750, something like that. You can use this troop to beat like high Tower of Dooms, high level invasions, raids, some delves. Like, put them in first, devour the thing with the most stats, and then you got this huge tank in first slot. Make sure the rest of your team is competent, though. You can't have, like, maybe put Earth's Fury in there, and then a mana generator, and another troop that can do some damage, because if you lose this guy due to them devouring you, or a death mark, or something crazy, then you're screwed, because you can't do it again. You can't devour again. So you got to have some sort of functional team under him. But he can give you a really fast, good start on that scalable content by devouring something, getting something like their best, you know, the most dangerous enemy. Go ahead and devour that. Web Spinner, another really good troop that I need to use more. Web Spinner's good on skull spam teams. It's 16 green, blue, Daemon. Deal 25 damage to all enemies and poison them, create 9 green gems. And that's not the reason it's really good. The reason is lethal toxin. Deal triple skull damage to poisoned and webbed enemies. So you get the enemies webbed or poisoned, and it does triple skull damage. So really good on skull spam teams. I need to get my... Somebody put a web spinner team in the comments, please. I know I've asked this before, but it was once a while ago, and I need to write it down. So I need a web spinner team, and I need a wild queen team. If anybody wants to put those in the comments for everybody, it'll help everybody here. So yeah, a wild queen team, a green Guild Wars team would be great, or purple, or brown, I don't care, any. And then a web spinner team, and then I will show you guys the Queen Titania and Umberwolf teams. So show me a web spinner, and show me a wild queen, and I will show you a Queen Titania and an Umberwolf. Alright, so we're done with that. First, as far as legendaries go, I would say Queen Titania number 1, because of that Queen Titania Yao team, then web spinner, then Umberwolf, then the Great Maul. But still, the only one really, Queen Titania, if you're trying to finish off that Yao Queen Titania team. Or I guess if you have a web spinner team that's really close and you just need the web spinner, it's pretty much really, if you have the whole team and you just need these 1 troops and they're just eluding you, all 3 of these are used in really good teams. So the only one I wouldn't is the Great Maul, 100% do not. But these other ones, I'm super close. These are some of the legendaries that when you say, well, you know, you normally don't recommend crafting legendaries, but there is a few that, you know, I might. And these are like the few. For some, you know, they had to all pop up at the same time. Web Spinner, Queen Titania, Umberwolf. Maybe take out Umberwolf, Queen Titania, and Web Spinner, so, you know, really close. We have Rose Bow. Deal 38 damage to an enemy, boosted by Divinian Field's allies, and create a mix of 6 blue and yellow gems for each Divinian Field's ally, so it gives you a chance to get this weapon again if you didn't happen to get it the first time. Shooting Star, dispel all enemies, deal 35 damage to an enemy, and eliminate half their attack. Another chance at old event weapons here. Most of the time, I don't know. Doomed Chronicle. Deal 40 scatter damage plus 4 per tempering level. Create a mix of 6 purple gems and skulls for every purple enemy. Give 3 magic to all allies. If enemy has a doom, give 5 more. I don't think any of these are super awesome that are going to do, you know, be game breaking or meta or anything. But if you don't have them and you have everything else in the Soulforge right now, for collection purposes, there you go. And watch this slot here for the Doomed Axe, the Doomed Crossbow, the Doomed Scythe, all those good ones. They might pop up right here eventually, so watch for those here, but not this one. Alright, let's move along to the event keys. Let's see what we have this week in the event key drop table. Divinian Fields. I think that's the World Breaker, is it? Let's go check it out. The Divinian Fields, what do we have in the drop table for event keys? Been saving mine up. Remember to save your keys this week. We have that new mythic this Friday. New mythic Friday, so save your keys. I should have said that earlier in this video. Also, did you see my pet rescue from Saturday? Actually got like 5th or 6th place on speedrun.com. It should be up there like tomorrow at the latest. And I'm just slightly above Keylime. I thought that was awesome. Was kind of gunning for that and got it by accident. Base rarity, yep. Okay, so we have the World Breaker this week. Some people are probably crying in their cereal. We have World Breaker. Can't believe Sunny Big Keylime. Ragnagord. Herdmaster. And that's about it. But the World Breaker is decent if you have no mythics and you somehow get him as your first mythic. He's not terrible. The only thing wrong with him is his mana cost is pretty high. It's like the 2nd highest in the game, next to like Zul'Goth or something. But I used to use him when I first got him. He's fun. He's just fun. He's not good. He's not awesome. He's not. I mean, he's just fun to use on like easy content that you can clear with 39 damage to all enemies, you know? He explodes a bunch of gems on the board, pretty much the whole board, and he does damage to all the enemies, and he's a dragon. so he's fun to use. He has Reflect, 25% of skull damage, and Insane Growth. It's a fun dragon mythic. That's what I'll say. You're not gonna make an amazing team and go crazy. Like, I'll put him with like Infernus, or something like that, you know, or a bunch of dragons like the Dragon Soul and Elamagrim, and you know, you can put them with a bunch of dragons, or you can put them with like Infernus, and it's fun. It's not like, oh, this is the best team ever, but it can clear stuff early in events, or just, you know, quests or whatever. He's fun to use, like the Dawnbringer. He's fun to use. It's kind of like the Dawnbringer of Mythics. Dawnbringer, it's like the earlier you get him, the better he is. Same with Dawnbringer. The earlier you get it, the better it is. If you get Dawnbringer when you're level 1200, it's not going to help you as much as if you get Dawnbringer when you're level 900, you know? Only other thing I would say is Ragnagord is used sometimes. I use him with my red Guild Wars team, so fast, start battles with 50% mana, and he explodes 29 gems of a chosen color, so really good for fast mana generation. So Ragnagord, pretty good. Epic troop. And now that we did those top 5 free epics, we know that that's not a quest troop either. Herdmaster's okay for early game, ultra rare. Explode 31 yellow gems, cleanse all allies. I like when I get him in like arena and stuff. It's fun. Gain bonus yellow mana from yellow gem matches. So if you have event keys this week, I wouldn't say to throw them. It's not like the best week ever to throw them. But if you can't wait, if you get a world breaker, that'd be great. Ragnagord, good. And Herdmaster, if you don't have it fully ascended, would be okay. Alright, let's go to the shop. I'm going to have to pause because it always freezes, but let's go to the shop, see what the Glory Troop does, and go buy one. Alright, I'm getting a little faster at doing that, so let's get to the new troop. Here is the new troop this week. Thaumaturge. Sounds really terrible. If it ends up being awesome this week, and people are like, you totally missed it. This troop is the best troop ever. I made a team with 3 Thaumaturges and a leprechaun, and I will eat my hat because this thing looked terrible on the spoilers. And yes, I'm wearing a hat, and yes, I can eat it. Or I don't know if I can eat it, but if Thaumaturge turns out to be awesome, I'll have to give it a shot. Alright, Thaumaturge, Divinian Fields, 12, red, purple, Centaur Mystic. Got those 20% bonus this week. Darkstar Blast. Deal 30 damage to all purple enemies. Then drain 1 to 3 mana from them. Don't see how, like, when this would be good ever, except for on purple Guild Wars Defense. But 30 damage isn't going to kill anything, and 1 to 3 mana isn't that much. So, yeah. No good traits, not a good spell, very specific, not a good nothing, just not good. I don't think it's good. Tell me if it's good in the comments. I don't think it is. What's the Arcane Dark? So this you can use for like Umberwolf, like the Dragon Soul. It's a pretty good trait stone. So if you need to level up the Dragon Soul, or I think the Dragon Soul and like Umberwolf, pretty good for those. What else? Gotta get my Spoils of War wherever they are, so I don't want to forget. I think I forgot last week. I mean, I got them early last week. Always get these. It's a really good deal. 10 event keys for 1800 glory. I forgot to see if I was missing any troops here. Show all. No, I'm not. Okay, good. Alright, what else do we have to do here? So I did the Soulforge, which I forgot to put the troops, the mythics last week on Monday. I forgot to put them in the pinned comment, but I'll still do that. I'm gonna still do that. I'm gonna do it this week and that last week. I got it the week before, so I can just copy paste and then add the ones on from last week and this week, and we'll be good. We're still okay. We're just like a week behind. I just got to put it in there. It's fine. What else? The events for the week. We have Guild Wars, obviously. Don't forget to do your defends and your sentinels if your guild requires it. Looks like we have purple, yellow, green, blue, brown, red. I gotta set my defends. Where am I? Let's see. I'm not Paragon again. I'm gonna show it. I'm second. Dang. Don't like that. I want to be first. We'll see what happens this week. I might be shaking up some teams this week. Not really what my plan is. My plan is usually just to keep my teams the same until I don't get Paragon like a couple weeks in a row. Because sometimes I get Paragon, then I lose it, then I get it back right away, then I lose it, then I get it back, then I hold it for 7 weeks, and then I lose it, then I get it back. Like, as soon as I'm like not getting it a couple times in a row, that's when I shake my teams up a little bit more. But hey, we're in bracket 3 now. We moved up a bracket. Bracket 3, number 2 here, champion, first champion. And some people take that as bragging or like something. Like, I'm just trying to like prove my credentials here. Like, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say you're getting advice from this is my stats. You're getting advice from a top 20 PS4 guild Paragon. Like, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to. This is who you're getting advice from. Let's see. So events. We have the Stone Song Eerie Faction Assault tomorrow. We have the Hamburger Wednesday, the new pet. I was fake offended by this yesterday that they would give us a hamburger for July 4th since we're American. People say it's because we grill out or I don't know, but they could have picked something else is all I'm saying. They did a firework already, so I know they couldn't do that, but they could do American flag. It's like America's birthday, right? Isn't that what July 4th is, our independence? So celebrating our independence, they give us a silly hamburger. They could have done a flag or something with fireworks or a parade or I don't know, something else. So I'm just saying that it's a kind of a cringy choice, but I'm not one to get offended, so it doesn't bother me. I just decided to say what we could give them if it was their Independence Day, like their country's most important day of the year, their country's birthday. Let's give them something that people think about them instead of something to celebrate their birthday, instead of like the flag or fireworks or something to celebrate their birthday and their independence. Let's give a silly I don't know. Anyway, let's get off that because don't really care that much. So Faction Assault, Stone Song Eerie tomorrow. The day after we have the new pet, and then Thursday we have class trial for I think Oracle, and then we have invasions this weekend, pretty sure, with the Herney troop captain, and a new weapon, the Firefly weapon. So I'll show you a faction, a team for the Stone Song Eerie. We might just have to go over that tomorrow. If I have a terrible Guild Wars tomorrow, we may just be going over this, so I don't want to show it too much, but Stone Song Eerie. For those of you that want to get a super fast jump on it for tomorrow morning or something, I already have the pet here, so I'm using this team. You can also use the Possessed King instead of Sylvanamora, especially if you're using Titan, and especially if you have it. I just didn't have that mythic at the time when I made this team. Now I do, because I made this team a long time ago. But with the Sylvanamora and the Cockatrice, you pretty much always have the first troop entangled on their team, on the enemy's team. Then your Titan has always got barriers, so that's like 3 different chances to not get skulled down to nothing, to dust. And then your Iron Gut, you build that up, you devour, and if it happens to be if you can't devour, then you just knock them down with skulls and Sylvanamora, and keep draining them with Cockatrice. So could also use the finesse team here, the triple finesse Nimbus bow, since you can use yellow, which I might use for tomorrow. I might not use this because the finesse team's a little bit faster. So, triple finesse, Nimbus Bow, or Mount Crusher Cockatrice, High King Iron Gut, Silva Namora / the Possessed King. Both good teams for this faction. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you today. Make sure you save up your keys. Make sure you go check out that speedrun.com leaderboard. The pet rescue should be up there by tomorrow. Could be up there now. I don't know. I haven't checked today. Run those playlists. Let me know you do so I can shout you out. What else? Yeah, Faction Assault tomorrow. Guild Wars all week. New Pet Wednesday. Oracle class event Thursday. Invasions. Redoing the Herney Captain, I think, with the new weapon. What was it called? I don't remember. It's a freaking necklace. And yeah, that's what we got. Invasions this weekend. Guild Wars all week. Faction Assault tomorrow. Stone Song Airy. New Pet Hamburger Wednesday, Thursday, Oracle class, then the Invasions and Guild Wars all week. New Mythic Friday, main thing. Check out that speedrun.com leaderboard. Run those playlists. Like, share, subscribe. Hit join for $1.99. It would help so much. And I'll see y'all next time. Have a good week. Peace.